Good morning. And everyone online, good morning. So, when I was asked to give a short temple talk on the need to give, I was provided with Bible verses as examples to inspire my words. So I'll get to some of those in a minute. But as I considered the verses, I had difficulty reconciling their message to how I thought about giving. I was raised Catholic, I never subscribed to the concept of buying my way to heaven. But I donated anyway because that was the thing that was expected of Catholics. It wasn't much money. As far as I was concerned, the Catholic Church had plenty of it. Pondering the temple talk in the upcoming campaign, I thought about my family's giving, and I asked myself, why does my family give what we give, and does it make sense? I thought about the giving in terms of spending. I know the terms sound similar, but I feel they are very different. Thanks. If anyone can't hear me, I'm happy to repeat any of it. All right. I feel we spend for two reasons, right? The things we have to spend money on, like taxes and bills, and then the things that we want to spend money on because we can spend money on it. If we're here today, we probably have enough of just about everything. We came here from a place we call home. Whether we've paid for it or we're still paying for it, we call it our own. We probably drove here after eating or drinking something, and I'm willing to bet we're all wearing seasonally appropriate clothing. How many people here have a cell phone? Yeah, you don't have to raise hands. It's okay, you don't have to raise your hands. Most of us remember a time when we didn't have cell phones. We didn't need them. They didn't exist, right? The iPhone 13, again, don't raise your hands. $800, depending what model you get to start. So the point is, in general, we have enough to pay for the things that we need to pay for, and the rest we spend because we want to. None of us really need an iPhone 13. You don't have to feel bad about it. I'm just saying you don't have to. All right. So giving to me means providing something to someone or some other entity for a purpose. It occurred to me, my family isn't giving to church because we want to feel like good Christians or because it's the church thing to do. We're giving because we want to, because we can, because we feel it will help something else. Right. Sorry, I got my numbers backwards. Okay. That's why you have for looking up. Okay. So last summer, my family and I took a trip to this vacation spot in Cape Cod. And along the way, we stopped at this really nice restaurant in Connecticut. It was owned by a very close friend of my wife, Brittany's. And at the time, we were very fortunate to be the guests of honor for a drag show. For anyone that doesn't know what a drag show is, just try to visualize men dressed as women, lip-syncing to popular music, and dancing in high heels. That doesn't really do the whole spectacle justice, but you get the idea anyway. So naturally, this was really my children's most exciting adventure to date, and they wanted to fully participate. The restaurant at the time was raising money for an LGBT home for displaced children, right? So these kids would come to this home because they weren't receiving the kind of support they needed at their own homes. There was a lot of, so we decided to participate. And at the time, I don't really understand a lot of the things that my kids are passionate about, or I don't associate with, or I don't relate to a lot of the things my kids understand. But at the moment, I knew they really wanted to participate in this fundraiser. So we did. It wasn't a lot of money. It was only about $40, $50. But in my mind, that $40, $50 was dinner or like gasoline or something for vacation. But none of those things at the time were more important to my kids. So, for God loves a cheerful giver. The one who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will supply and multiply your seed and increase the harvest of your righteousness. 2 Corinthians. I told you I'd get one in there. As we left Connecticut and made our way up 95 to 84 and into central Massachusetts, we were full. We were full of food. We were full of anticipation at seeing our grandparents that we haven't seen in 2 years. and full of hope that our donation, as a seeds, would be used by this house in Connecticut to provide harvest or security opportunities and support for kids that not yet know where they fit. So during the transition years following Pastor Jeffrey's departure and Pastor Kim's arrival, we conducted multiple self-discovery exercises to help identify who we felt APLC was and where we felt we wanted to grow. A bunch of us were here for that. I hope we remember some of those exercises. The themes, or in this case, the wants, that kept surfacing were improving youth fellowship, group activities, community outreach. We made progress on most of those things, but we haven't really made any progress on the community outreach yet. There's a lot of reasons, I won't get into all of them, but COVID had something to do with it. Driving down the substantial costs related to our needs will give us freedom to focus more on our wants. So as we kick off Living God's Generosity campaign, let's take this opportunity to reevaluate our spending, reevaluate our giving, and like the LBGT home in Connecticut that was so important to my family, think about how important you feel it is that Abiding Presence take a larger role in our community, and decide if the want is important enough to you to help free up APLC to do more of the things we want to do. What additional great works can Abiding Presence do in God's name when not held hostage by our financial needs? And just so you know, that week on the Cape, we actually never went out to dinner. We ate in every night, and we were okay with that. Thanks.